If you're interested in getting your replays analyzed, please read my pinned comment below. Thank you and enjoy the video. I like that you cheat, although it's a really soft one, but still better than not cheating. Good speed, great patience, control, and pass. Here, you need to keep ball cam on because contact is about to be made, whether it's your mate or the 50. Keeping ball cam off doesn't give you that information. So here, if you kept ball cam on, you would have noticed a lot earlier that your mate was going to whiff and adjusted accordingly. Example. As you can see, we keep ball cam on just to ensure mate will hit the ball, and if he whiffs, you can collect the ball without conceding an open net shot. Not a bad touch, decent enough, but you landed the wrong way. You needed to land turning left and not right. Why? Because if the opponent hits it at net, you can boost and save it, and if he passes mid, you can boost and stop the shot. Example. We land facing left, we try and stop the shot, but fortunately he misses. You have pretty good positioning and counter awareness so far from what I can tell. Here, you just had to take a normal flip shot, but having low boost did make it quite awkward. Here, I would have preferred if you grab pads as you follow your mate for backup. Example. So here, we don't leave the play, we just grab pads and stay close to mate for support, and we end up with around 50 boots, which is more than enough for any save or shot. Really good awareness to notice opponent was hitting it to the left, and you got up early on the wall to meet him there and challenged. I've reviewed many C3s and GC1s, and some of them don't do what you did. Well done considering you're C2 right now. Don't flip during contact of the ball here when you're in the play. If the ball 50s towards your direction, you won't be able to turn and shoot since you're stuck in animation. This is an important habit to learn. I like that you want to turn back into the play and show presence, but you needed to grab mid boost there since it was right next to you. Nice soft touch. It seems like you were caught in two minds here with what you wanted to do with that aerial. Okay, this is a bit of a weird one. Your mate shouldn't have challenged here and should have played more patiently until you challenged. That's the main issue. However, I will say that you probably could have challenged in the corner, maybe a single jump soft 50 just to cause some problems. But at the same time, it allows your mate to push forward. This is fine, but I think I would have liked you to be a bit quicker on attacking the ball once it was flicked. It looked like you hesitated a little bit. Example. We're a bit more ready and confident with the challenge after the flick here. Turning in on the ball like this when it's over your head is pretty dangerous. This is because you're not really aware of where the opponent is, and thus it's quite easy to get demoed or hard challenged and dunked. Here's what you could have done instead. Here, what we're doing is we're getting around the ball as quickly as possible, pretty much at supersonic speed. This allows us to get a full view of the field quicker. If the opponent is still far back, you can take possession. If they're about to take the ball or take a shot, you're positioned decently enough to make a defensive maneuver or to make a save. Ah, I see. You're more of a grounded player, which I had a feeling you might have been since you have decent game sense for your rank. But maybe mechanics is something you should work on. That setup on the wall was a really good setup to go for an aerial mechanical play since it's only one opponent. Although dropping the ball into a catch is also good, but unfortunately you took a mistouch. Okay, this decision doesn't make too much sense. You were pushing up with your mate in a 2v1, and yes, you did take a heavy touch, but it doesn't mean you let the opponent just take the ball completely uncontested. You could have just drive challenge and 50 him. This could have maintained pressure, especially with your mate really close. Letting the opponent pop the ball up like this just puts you and your mate on the back foot for no reason. And they score because of your decision, unfortunately. I understand that you have no boost here, but try not to default by going for corner. Here, before you speed fit for corner boost, just slow down a little bit and wait for the 50 to happen. And depending on where it goes, that will let you know the type of pathing you should take. Example. As you can see, I stop a little to see the 50, and once I see it, I start to path towards mid boost. This is how you keep yourself in the play, even with no boost. If you're going to turn like this, you have to go. Trying to fake is just too risky and adds unnecessary pressure. I can tell you're a control type player, but sometimes you just need to get rid of the ball, at least until your mate is back. Remember to always cheat on kickoff. Going up for this ball isn't necessarily bad, but your execution is off. Remember, for most clears, it literally just requires a fast aerial and one tilt of aero left or right and punch it away with the nose. Nothing too crazy. Example. So we fast aerial, aero right, and clear. Okay, we need to address a couple of things here. Firstly, your pathing on pads could have been a bit better to grab an extra pad. And secondly, you need to get closer to the play, even with low boost. The ball is traveling slow. The opponent is backwards, and your mate has strong possession to cover any 50. It's very unlikely to spill behind your mate, and even if it does, it won't travel far so you can reach it in time. Example. We grab an extra pad and then we get closer to the play for any kind of follow up. Good touch. Quick tip, turn off ball cam as you get a touch of the ball, not before. It's easier to take control of the ball and easier to set up for a dribble that way so you don't take missed touches like here. Example. So we take a touch and turn off ball cam at the same time, not before. Need to spend more time working on your dribbling control. Really nice power slide cut and control. It's clear that you have good ground control. Maybe working on your aerial mechanics can help you get to that next level. Okay, this pathing is pretty bad because you literally missed every pad possible. The ball is heading to the corner and you know this, so you don't need to rush your rotation back that much. Just focus on getting pads as you flip and try to memorize where the pads are. Example. Here, you can see that we path along pads as we get closer to the play and eventually we get a challenge in. Try to read the play a bit more. Here, your mate is about to 50 the ball and you're facing your own net. You should be facing the ball when a 50 is about to happen. This is the general principle. Trust your mate more and don't worry about it going behind you too much. Plus, you'll be able to catch up to the ball much more quickly. Example. So we turn as our mate turns and we face the 50. Thereafter, we are able to chase the ball much more effectively. Never do this. Don't go to net and reverse for a comfort back post position at your rank. Read the game. What's happening? Okay, mate is applying pressure to the opponent. The ball is going up the wall and the opponent is going up the wall, right? Will the opponent have time to do what he wants? Not likely. Why? Because your mate is putting good pressure. So what's going to happen? Opponent is likely going to hit the ball hard and likely push the ball out to mid or your backboard. Okay, so now we know the likely outcome. Where do we position? We position a lot closer first of all, and we can position backboard too. Example. We get closer, and once we can see that the opponent is about to hit it outwards, we get ready and turn, and this now gives you an opportunity to go for an aerial play. Good lead for me. Remember that the corner is your safe zone. You don't need to force a hit on the ball. What you had to do here was just go off the wall and backboard and let the ball come to you. After that, you'll have the ball and full view of the entire field where you can decide what to do next. Example. We track the ball here as we drive back. Here, it's an awkward bounce, but we've positioned well enough where we can still cover a potential shot. This only happens because you were fixated on the ball and not the opponent's car. We know this because if you paid attention to only his car, you would know with full certainty that you were never getting this ball before him. Lesson here is to practice car awareness. You need to turn around and get involved in the play a lot quicker here. The ball flies to the opponent's side and you are still driving back to your net. This positioning is okay for C2, but as you rank up, it's not good enough. Why? Because yes, you're covering the shot, but what if he doesn't shoot, dribbles, and instantly flicks? That could be much more dangerous because you distance too far away. So what's the solution? You need to position in a spot where you can cover the shot and the dribble too. This requires a lot of experience and 1v1 games to know where this spot is. Example. In this example, we position a bit closer to cover the shot, but also a dribble if they drop down. As mentioned before, turn ball cam off as you touch the ball, not before. This double commit happens for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I don't think you rotated quick enough. I believe you had 27 boosts to use to get back and perhaps grab a pad or two along the way. Secondly, we didn't see that our mate could have gone for it. It's an awkward situation and I understand why you went for it though. Remember to cheat. Your mate hits the ball forward and you had around 50 boosts, but you decided to get corner boost, creating distance between you and your mate and the play. Grab pads and stay in the play to support mate. If you had stayed in the play, you could have gotten this ball before the opponent did. Example. By staying in the play, we are able to get the ball and make a play. I like how you went up with no aerial, but your aerials need more practice and working on in general. Watch Kepfert's videos to improve on this. Again, similar to previously mentioned, you're staying in net by default without reading the play, and this leaves you in an awkward position to get the ball. Let's take a look. Here, we get close to the play because it's a 50 and you want to make sure we can follow up on the ball. Unfortunately, our mate got beat, but we go up the wall and clear the ball. The backboard is your best friend for defense, not staying in net. Good awareness. Good challenge. Grab pads and stay in the play. I like how you go up pretty early for this. Good confidence. Here, you're positioning for the worst case scenario and not for both. If you looked carefully, you'd see that your mate is close to the ball and is going to get a good hit. Noticing this will enable you to position for this hit rather than the opponent. This is your ball. I know you thought mate would go for it, but he's likely low boost after getting that aerial and he needs to get down. If you started to boost and got close to him the moment you saw him aerial, you would have gotten to this ball pretty quickly. Example. As you can see, we use boost to get closer and then we're able to retrieve the ball. Instead, you sit in net again when your mate is going to challenge. Need to be close to him in case the challenge goes wrong and you can pick up the ball. And staying in net is what lost you this game, unfortunately. Okay, so final considerations for this video. Point number one is make sure you don't leave the play and support your mate. Point number two is work on your aerial mechanics more often. Point number three is don't sit in net when defending. Read the game and position accordingly.